All right, welcome in everybody to Tuesday's edition of Daily Bread, coming at you live right at 11 o'clock on the East Coast, bright and early, right before that lunch break. On the West Coast, you might just be getting up or getting into the office, but throw in those AirPods, grab a coffee, whatever you need to do, load up the book, because it's the number one spot to be on Twitter and YouTube to get your daily free winners from Sosa and myself. The show is powered and sponsored by the Wise Guys Diamond Club. Be sure to be checking out that at the bottom and be jumping in for that playoff flash sale. Like I said, we're live on Twitter, Daily Bread Media. Give us the like and retweet there and give us the follow if you already aren't. We can't feature your comments, but YouTube is the number one spot to be. Make sure to like today's episode. Definitely helps us out, helps everyone else get out there to help us get the winners to everybody. But Sosa, how you doing today?
Oh man, I'm feeling all right. Obviously, we took that L last night, but I mean, we threw every offensive set we're going to throw at them the entire series without Joel. Now it's about analyzing the tape and seeing where we can be better. Obviously, the game was decided within a 5 minute frame. Last 3 minutes, last 2 minutes of the third quarter, first 4 minutes of the fourth quarter, we absolutely uh, got beat. In that was the time in the game in which we got beat. We had four straight consecutive empty possessions, led to three runouts, three threes, and two free throws, and that was pretty much all she wrote. I like the way we competed for about three quarters. Not very happy with DeAndre Jordan continuously getting minutes playing in the NBA in the year of our Lord 2022. I'm not a fan of that at all. Um, I'm not gonna sit. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like Paul Reed is some like superstar because he had a good year in the G League, but he was not very. What I saw from him wasn't particularly promising. I mean, the guy hasn't seen a pump fake he didn't like to jump at. Just jumped at every head fake.
And he
Very
kind of
familiar
led to
with
one of the runs that Miami had as well, where he blew like three straight layups as
yeah.
well. It's kind of just where even when Millsap got in there, wasn't effective. Our best time we were effective is when Tobias or when we didn't even truly have a center out there. And that's going to be the toughest part of that series where when Bam, we said it on yesterday's show, there's no excuse and he can be the most efficient guy out there and go get that double-double with ease and put this one away with no sweat. Pretty sure those were our exact words yesterday. That's exactly what he did.
Can't shoot 6 for 34 from three and expect to win too many games in the NBA in 2020.
Well, I didn't want to bring it up, but
We were
Niang,
horrendous. We shot horrendous from three.
well, Niang or anytime we needed a clutch bucket from anyone who wasn't the three starters, it was Furkan, who was literally the fourth most clutch player last night for the Sixers.
Yeah, we just like I said, I'm not discouraged, but I'm not happy either. So that's that, right?
Anything about the Suns or Mavs before we get into today's slate?
No, that went how we expected it.
Dinwiddie missed the cover play.
Obviously, and that's why I said stay away from if you got six. Yeah, obviously you got all the way up to six, so it's still covered, but it is what it is, man. This is the NBA, and this is just what we're dealing with.
Luka was able to get his basically at any point last night was the one thing that I saw where it makes me feel a little bit more confident in my Mavs to win the series just because the Suns are different, but Luka was a little bit different last night as well. He was stat padding, but hey, man, he made the final score look a little bit better than it was, I guess.
Sure did. I mean, obviously they took their foot off the gas. A lot of people won't want to admit that, but they took their foot off the gas and they let an inferior team kind of hang with them. But again, we said it before. If DeAndre Ayton plays well, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a rather short series if we're being honest, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, but he can get paid off of it as well. I still like the Mavs to make it a series, man. People are still writing them off. I still like them to at least get two. I mean, I still like them to win it, but let's get into today's slate. We got the Champions League single match. We got the full MLB slate, and then we got the 2 NBA night games. Make sure to give us a like, subscribe, and retweet wherever you are. Drop your plays, drop your best bets, any questions. We got the best chat out there. Let's keep it rolling. Sosa, you already got your kid on, so you know Liverpool and Villarreal. Pool's got the 2-0 advantage. We're heading over to Spain here. We got the total listed at 3 at plus 105, but you have both teams juiced to score here at minus 150. So that's where that caught my eye the most, where you get the both teams to score at a big minus and the over 3 at the plus. Not really thinking it's going to be a scoring fest here. You got Liverpool at minus 140. You just targeting something in the first half here, going back to the well.
Well, I mean, you could combine both teams to score in Liverpool money line. I mean, that'll get you at plus 225. I think I like that personally. I think at this point we know that Villarreal can't play their conventional game. They have to come forward and try to score goals, and that inherently will make things a bit easier for Liverpool to do the same. I want to go with the first half draw at plus 140. I lean that way again. Whether it's 0-0 or 1-1, I think both teams can definitely score in the first half. I still do like Liverpool to win the match just because I think they're the better team. If you watch the first matchup, Villarreal showed that they were indeed the inferior team. It just took Liverpool a little minute to get one across the line. But once they scored like 5 minutes later, and they could have scored 3 or 4 more times in the second half. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and here I guess you have to attack it live here because Villarreal, I do think we see this 0-0 at half, and that's why we have the juiced under 3 minus 135. I just do not like anything whatsoever in this match, if I'm going to be completely honest. There's too many different variables of where this can go with how Villarreal, to what you said, has to play outside of their style. You could see this just be Liverpool clinical, just passing around and just not letting them get it. Or we could see all hell break loose and we could see a 4-3 match with both teams just hitting each other constantly when they're throwing too many men up. But let's get into the MLB slate. Sosa, we like any nerfies today because there's a lot of low totals on the board once again. Only one game above the 9 marker, and that's a home game in Colorado, which is kind of just a given.
We actually have 2 nerfies today. One is juiced at minus 140. First one we're going to go with is the Cincinnati Reds versus Milwaukee Brewers at minus 140. No runs first inning. Woodruff and Male on the mound. That's why. We got a solid pitching matchup that we believe can get us across the finish line in the first inning. And the second nerfie we're on is in the Yankees Blue Jays game. The last time we bet the nerfie with these 2 pitchers, it came through. Manoah and Tyon. It's at minus 125. No runs first inning. Yankees Blue Jays.
Ooh, all right. Just got right to both of them off the bat.
Yes, sir. It's a nerfy Tuesday, man. It's a nice little day to go at it for that. And then from what I'm seeing or hearing is that it's supposed to rain in Chicago. So I originally had the Chicago game capped, but that game's supposed to get rained out because weather in Chicago is awful. And then
there's not really that many fade good spot options here today because I think with the low totals, the books are telling you that even if you want to fade a pitcher like Fetty, it might not be the smartest day.
Oh no, in Colorado, that we fading him. That's one of 2 official plays that I have. We're fading Fetty at Coors Field. We're gonna go Colorado Rockies team total over 5.
Wow, I love it.
If you get a 5.5 at minus 106, I like them to put it on them tonight. I think I like the game to go over as well, but the Colorado team total over 5.5, definitely like it.
What's the second one you got?
Come on, man. The Dodgers. Whenever you get the Dodgers run line at plus money, you got to take it.
Do you?
It's only the second time all season you're getting it at plus money. The first time we got it at plus money, it hit no problem. Rodon, this game, Hey, listen, everybody's talk is going to be on Rodon's nuts because he's pitched very well in a San Francisco Giants uniform, but he hasn't seen a lineup like what he's going to say tonight. He's going to get lit up. Dodgers run line at plus 140. Dodgers team total at over 3.5, minus 128. Big Dodger money tonight.
Yeah, the spots that kind of had my eye here is if the Mets drop the first game in the doubleheader, I'll definitely be looking to be backing them in the second one, and you'll be getting the plus money price on them most likely as well with Peterson on the mound. So I'm kind of hoping that the Mets drop the first one so we can lock in that money line later because you already know that little spot on the same day head-to-heads if the home team drops the first one.
Yes, sir.
So it's another question spot I had to ask you about was Marlins minus 180. I know we like to respect the fish here, but really minus 180?
Bounce back after last night when they just got smacked around. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not betting it personally. Straight up, not touching the game.
Flexing on the road?
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everyone who's still riding that bullet, you might have to jump off that one pretty quickly here.
Yes, sir.
But I think the one spot that I do like tonight, I don't like taking the road favorite here, but I think we have to do it with the Angels in Boston right now. Boston's going to get right at some point this season. I don't think it's going to be tonight facing Syndergaard, even though they have Waka on the mound. I like the Angels on the money line at minus 120 from what I've seen from Syndergaard so far this year. He's going to get us to 6 innings, and he's going to be pretty much clean throughout it. I think this is the time that Waka finally gets hit because he's had 4 starts all too well. We'll see the bats, even though Shohei might not be in the lineup. That's probably going to help him even better because if you're sleeping on Ward in the outfield from the Angels, he's been someone who's made that Angels lineup come alive and help Trout out big time.
Yes,
even though Rodon hasn't done shit this year.
Rodon has looked great.
Seattle at home. I'm going to keep living and dying on this train this year. Is where Seattle has played so many road games so far this season. I think they're coming into a spot where they're the Rockies. They got better young pieces and more things to like, but I think they're solely a bet on a home team so far. And then Sosa, the last one I got for you was Hudson, back from that Tommy John. He's had an extremely good start the last one. He's just been falling into a fade or into a spot where I think we need to start fading him because if you looked at this squad, he's facing the Royals, so not a power offense, and faced Cincinnati and Arizona before, and he hasn't allowed an earned run in his past 2 starts. I think it's going to be time to fade Dakota Hudson soon, but is it today where you can get them at minus 113 and going against Keller?
I have no action on it, to be honest. I can't. Not for me.
I'm on the Cardinals money line at minus 113 solely because Keller in his lifetime against St. Louis faced him twice last year. Extremely ugly. He's 1-4 record with a 5.65 ERA. So we're taking 2 road favorites today in the MLB from my side.
All right.
Thanks, Chuck. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, it's bad. But yeah, let's get to the good stuff, man.
The MLS?
Yes.
No, that was just a ticker. I clicked by accident. That is the good stuff, though. All right, let's get to the NBA. Let's start it off with the early one. Sosa, I have to give you your props. I haven't done it since the show. If you tuned in with us on Sunday when we had Finesse the Books, Crispy Cap'n, and Jammer Bets, always got to shout them out for joining our show. Sosa, you were one of the lone guys. I forget who else was riding the Bucks with you. I believe it was Jammer that said the Bucks are going to win this series, and they looked clean in the first one. The whole storyline was Tatum and Brown. I think they combined to take 2 mid-range shots. Everything was at the rim or 3. So did the Bucks defense do exactly what they wanted them to do? Because when they got to the inside, it wasn't easy because we thought the Celtics had some height to compete with it, but you nailed it on the head with when they bring in Bobby, Lopez, and Giannis. That's tough.
Like I said, it's very difficult to cheat off. I told people at the beginning of the series that Chris Middleton being out was actually an advantage for the Milwaukee Bucks, and no one really wanted to listen to me because they don't really watch basketball. See, when you eliminate someone from the lineup like a Chris Middleton, someone who needs the ball in his hands in order to be effective, like he for all intents and purposes, he's an ISO guy or a guy that gets his own buckets off the dribble, right? When you eliminate that, what you do is you put another guy on the floor who can shoot threes and space the floor perfectly. Whereas with a Chris Middleton, you can play off him and say, hey, listen, if you beat us shooting a bunch of threes, it's fine. In reality, what's going on now is Giannis can handle physicality that KD can't. And you have a team that now has specialists on the outside just shooting threes. And Giannis didn't even play well. Like Giannis almost had a triple-double in the first half. He shot 9 for 25 from the floor. So if you don't expect him to be better, then you don't know ball. Be honest with you. I mean, listen, this Bucks team, they also force you to make decisions. They will run you off the three-point line, and once you get in that in-between area, you got to shoot the mid-range jump shot. If you rewatch those plays, you watch Jason Tatum, you watch Jaylen Brown, they put the ball on the floor, and then they swing it back out trying to shoot threes. That's what Milwaukee wants you to do. They want you to do that. You either go up strong, try to take contact and get a foul, or you have to shoot the mid-range jump shot. If they don't make mid-range jump shots, they could fuck around and get swept in this series. And I'm being totally honest because you aren't going to be able to get all the way to the rim. It's just not going to happen. It's too much traffic. It's too many players. And when you put Giannis in a roamer spot where he doesn't really have to guard Rob Williams, it makes it even that much easier for them to play defense against Jason Tatum because you got a great wing defender in Jrue Holiday who can just pick one guy to give somebody hell, and you can just extend your three-point defense out all game. Again, I'm not saying Boston is completely out of it because I think, Ime Udoka is a good coach. I think that he can devise some level of a strategy to combat. But again, it's going to come down to those two stars making mid-range jump shots. Listen, if Boston goes nuclear from three and beats you, you live with the circle. You live with the consequences. You just live with it, right? Also, that's another thing about Boston. Boston doesn't have a bunch of catch and shoot guys that are great. They have inefficient three-point shooters who might get hot, but you can't necessarily count on them to hit 4 or 5 every game. There's only 2 guys on the team you can count to do that. And then one, you're asking for Jason Tatum's best performance on defense, right? Going up against a fucking android in Giannis, and Jaylen Brown, who has to worry about multiple bodies being thrown at him and his inability to shoot the three. If you guys actually remember, over the last 3 months of the NBA season, Jaylen Brown was not great from three. His best attribute was his mid-range game where he'd post up smaller defenders and get a bunch of buckets at the rim. It wasn't that he was shooting threes. This Boston team ascended when Jaylen Brown stopped shooting threes. But I actually watch basketball. I'm not a fanboy. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I see. So unless Boston is able to be effective from the mid-range area or able to make Milwaukee foul them, this situation is going to get ugly. I like Jaylen Brown. I like Jason Tatum. But unless they're able to figure out a way where they hit mid-range jump shots, I look at what you're seeing.
So then let's talk about the spread. Are you taking the 5?
I'm taking the 5. No, I'm not taking the 5. Actually, what we're doing is this. I'm taking the Bucks team total, and here's why. I think that Boston understands that if they want to beat this team, they're going to have to be ultra offensive, and this game is going to have to be played in the 115s in order to do that. So we're going to go with Milwaukee's team total over 105.5 points. Because win or lose, they'll top the number. And if they lose, they can still cover, or they might not cover. But I definitely like them to score 106 points simply because unlike other playoff series where you can bog a team down defensively, against Milwaukee, you would prefer to get out in transition. That's how I'm looking at it. I think that's the Celtics tonight. What they're going to attempt to do is they're going to try to get out in transition, play a faster pace so that those big guys can't set up in the lane and to just basically camp out and wait for Jason Tatum and them.
Then who are you seeing from a points prop perspective or assists or rebounds? Do you like any player props here?
I'm going a weird angle, actually. I'm going to go with Brook Lopez to hit 2 threes. It's at plus 200. I know that might be weird, but listen, he's going to get the volume. I know he's going to get 3-4 shots up. And I think that what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to change the way they changed the way they played a little bit last game. And that is, there's going to be so much attention on Giannis. I think those other guys know, hey, we got to hit shots. I think Brook Lopez tonight is one of those guys. I like Brook Lopez to get me 4.5 boards and minus 120. And I like Brook Lopez 2 3-pointers at plus 195 now. And again, if this is a back against the wall spot for Boston, they have to win tonight. It's that simple. They just have to. They can't go back to Milwaukee down 0-2. If Boston loses tonight, they are in trouble. They can get swept.
So the angle
I really believe
that was catching my eye the most in this one here, because with that 5 number, not really pulling my angle either way. I like the Bucks team total over 1.5 that you're talking about at minus 110 out there. What do we think about? I know this is a weird one, but Tatum to get a double-double plus 200.
I mean, bro, that's tough. You had 3 guys get 10-plus boards and 1 guy get 9 for Milwaukee on Sunday.
Yeah, that's where he had 21, 6, and 6. So that's where he's gotten 2 double-doubles so far this playoff series. No, he's only gotten the 1.
Yeah,
that's short in the other.
I don't like that bet personally. The guy that I'm focused on is Jrue Holiday. One thing about Jrue knows when somebody's not in the lineup, he's got to step it up. The play that I love is Jrue Holiday over 11.5 rebounds and assists at minus 130. The number's a little juiced, but if you can get an alternate up to 12, 13, that's the play that I like. I think that Jrue understands the assignment, man. He's one of those guys. He understands what he's got to do to win, and he knows that he has to perform better when there's guys out of the lineup. He's just one of those dudes, you know. So we're going to go
Ruby shaking.
Holiday. I'm not going to go 8 assists because, see, what people are also forgetting is that. Oh my God! Someone's car alarm.
Damn. Yeah, you get into my shit now, like when you get the people in the complex coming over. But I was about to say, was that Ruby just shaking right there before?
Yeah, it was her.
Okay, she knows who the winner of the next game is going to be.
Absolutely.
I'm on the Grizz. Money line for the next one. Simple and easy, plus 110.
You're on the Grizzlies today?
Dude, I was already there. Ruby was shaking. I got the powder blue on today for them. I like for them to come through. Draymond coming back, the Grizz back against the wall, and it's the same angle they had with the Celtics, where I just think the Grizz know they have to get one at home because they will ultimately get swept.
Hey, man, listen, I had Golden State in 5 before the series. I think we have to go head to head, bro. I think I like Golden State to win again tonight.
Let's do it. Let's go head to head.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go head to head on this one. I like Memphis, but this ain't the Minnesota Timberwolves. If Draymond plays, they win that game by double digits. Bro, it's just.
I don't know. I think that they got the bounce off of Draymond getting ejected, so that's why I think it's going to be the come down for this one. So maybe Grizz first half is going to be the better angle because they know they can't start slow anymore. We talked about on Sunday's show where this is one where they're going to have to put 4 quarters together to get the dub. I think they're going to respect home court tonight, and the NBA is going to want this a series, and the best way to do it is to help Grizz through.
Golden State third quarter spread, whatever it is.
Yeah, I cannot disagree with that one whatsoever. That's made me way too much money in my life.
Whatever the third quarter spread is tonight is what we're rocking with the Golden State Warriors, bro. They're going to win tonight. And yeah, like I said, this Memphis team has disappointed me simply because I thought they were ready to ascend. They're too young, man.
You'll see it tonight, man. You're going to see it tonight.
They make too many bonehead decisions. And John Morant only goes left late in games, which is why Steph Curry ended up with a block at the end. And the last play of the game, everybody knew where they were going. I don't think it's that tough, man. You bet on history today. You bet on the team that the three players that have multiple rings that understand the situation at hand. This is a night spot too. The last game was a day game. Like I said, I love Golden State tonight. But hey, we're head to head on it.
What Jerry said, I love that too.
We don't have to agree on everything, you know.
No, it's good, and this will be our second head-to-head in the playoffs so far. So hopefully you can get back up to it because you got me from the Liverpool Inter one. So yeah. I'm still trying to lick my wounds from that one.
Oh yeah, don't worry. We're gonna serve out more L's tonight. Listen, man, I keep telling people this. And that's the reason why the Memphis series against Minnesota is what opened my eyes to. They're just not ready yet. Ja Morant has flaws to his game that need to be improved again. And like I said, you saw at the end of the game, it was Ja Morant to the left, which is why he got blocked by at the end of the game. It's because they were doing the same shit over and over. I like the way Jenkins drew it up though to get him on the run off ball. Very well drawn up. But we just knew, like I said, everyone knew where he was going. So
it's Rex and Who You Island. Love it. Our man Who You. He changed the picture today. It was weird.
Best of luck to everyone, for real.
He hasn't told us a good story in a while. Hopefully he'll have a good one for us this week because he's an OG day one. Absolutely. What else? We got Chuck saying Memphis got all types of help. They did. He's going with the Warriors to win and cover. It's cool. You're rocking with Chuck today.
Yeah, sure. I might throw out a an alternate spread in the Diamond Club because I don't, like I said, man, I don't trust this Memphis team. Too young, too dumb, not ready. That simple. Love game. They're just not ready yet. It's just not their time, bro. You know what I mean? You just gotta call it what it is. It's just not their time yet. His time will come. It's just not now.
You got us on Friday with a good story.
There we
Make
go.
Sure you tune in. It's perfect. He's saving it for Friday episode as well. Start off today's show with Liverpool versus Villarreal. And Tarad, who asked, we talked about the Sixers at the beginning of the show. We got into the MLB plays of the day. Sosa gave you 2 nerfies and 2 other looks. I gave you 2 away favorites to be backing. And then we wrapped it up in the NBA. We agree on the first game, head-to-head on the second one, going against my profile picture in Clay today, but that's all right. The Grizz will get it done, and then it's going to be fade greatest city real quick once they get to Oakland.
Yeah, sir. Well, I was Memphis shoe. So, but again, it comes down to the by design thing. Gary Payton Jr., great job of just irritating people on the perimeter. Jaren Jackson Jr. had a hell of a game too. Like Jaren Jackson, that's the reason why. Listen, that is the reason why I veered towards Golden State. All of Memphis's key players played well, and they still lost the game.
Well, they had the shot right there at the end to finish it, and if it goes in, the narrative's different, though.
They still
narrative's
lost.
100% different.
They still lost, and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson didn't even play great. That's what I'm saying. And Draymond didn't play the entire second half. This Memphis team is in trouble. I know people don't want to admit it, but it's just not their time, bro. They're kids. They're not ready. The moment's too big for them right now. I hate to say it like that.
Well, we shall see. That was your Daily Bread in a half hour. As usual, the number one spot to be. If you need the NHL action, go to Bleed Green, Stat Sports Guy, and Andy in the Diamond Club.
Hey, shout out to Dress Shirt Rex. My favorite edition of Rex.
This is Polo Rex today. It's not a dress shirt. I guess it's technically Izod Rex. What's wrong with Izod, man?
Nothing. I didn't know you were a middle-aged father of 5.
Oh my golf shirt, man. It's one of the golf shirts. It breathes well. Just a sweaty man out there on the golf course with a cigar. Until tomorrow's episode, we out.